Thuli Madonsela. Good morning and thank you for your time, Advocate. Really appreciate it. Now, my first questions, have the measures that have been taken by the government, like the suspension of constitutional rights for others, been proportional to the purpose of managing this COVID-19 outbreak?
Good morning, Jacob, and good morning to the public. Thanks for the privilege. It is really a moment of reckoning, and the regulations to date have taken into account some constitutional responsibilities and some impact on poverty and inequality. However, this is a great moment to look at the extent to which we use disaggregated data when we plan. We can't throw people into the sea and say the Titanic is sinking. And then when people are out there drowning, we start counting how many boats do we have, how many of them can swim on their own, and then we start the process. But that points to a planning defect that I'm glad the government is correcting.
So South Africa is a constitutional democracy and decisions made by the government have to be participatory. But what are some of the circumstances that allow the government to deviate from all of this and not consult anyone in order for them to handle this COVID-19 outbreak?
Well, the Constitution allows the deviation from democratic governance in emergency situations, and that would be in a war situation or disaster emergency. We are in a disaster emergency which has been declared in terms of the Disaster Management Act, and that was declared on the 18th of March. Government, therefore, is allowed to deviate from the democratic practices that are entrenched in the Constitution. Democratic practices in democracy are mentioned 25 times in our Constitution as a way of making a break or breaking with the past where the state did whatever it wanted. However, I want to indicate, Jacob, and to government that it's not licensed to rule by decree. There can be minimum consultation because we're not in a war situation. In a war situation, government cannot give us its advanced plans because then people are going to snitch and tell the enemy. The enemy here is coronavirus, COVID-19. It doesn't have ears. I hope it doesn't have ears. So there can be a level of consultation. And at the moment, I think the consultation is happening, but mostly at NADLEC, where business is represented, labor is represented, and the community is represented, but by a few, oligarchs or elites in society. I think government needs to open up consultation to the Gogo-Dlamini in Kayamandi, Emanzimele, Dlamini, Soweto, Dobsonville, etc., so that their lived experiences are taken into account in policy design and the policy responses are responsive to their lives.
Advocate, what are some of the regrettable scenarios that you have seen being played out during this time?
Well, the first thing has been the economic impact. Initially, the draconian approach, which was necessary, was skewed in favor of big business, and therefore township economies and public transport users were unnecessarily adversely affected. And I do, in that case, understand that government had to choose between sitting there and thinking about everything or acting swiftly, and government acted swiftly, and there were casualties from that, and we can give government for that. But I do think that when the regulations had to be extended or the lockdown had to be extended, there should have been more disaggregated data usage in the planning and adverse impact assessment before execution. And so I do think parenting was affected. I know people whose children have been stuck in different provinces, and these policies are saying you can only levels between provinces for emergency services. Then there is mental health, and that's one issue that we're not talking about. Some countries have allowed a minimum level of exercise per day. And a kind of syndrome might emerge. Post-traumatic stress disorders may emerge because people are confined. Imagine being confined in a shack with 10 people and being told you can't walk. The other thing is, in the suburbs, people do walk to go and buy groceries. In the townships, there's no draconian approaches to people going, even taking a walk to buy groceries, which is legal under the disaster management regulations, directions, and guides. Now, if I may say to you, then where are the fault lines? It's been certainly the economic impact in the informal economies in the township, villages, and self-employed workers, like those who are in the gig economy. There's also been an adverse impact on social life beyond the economy. We're not just economic beings. We are social beings, and we have other social needs. And humans cannot live by bread alone. And therefore there wasn't sufficient consideration to social life. The first concern for me is just gender. That we don't think there's been enough voices of women and the issues that affect women. And then lastly, this has nothing to do with the regulations. We do think that the images of police brutality and army brutality are worrying. Firstly, the violation of human rights, but also they threaten the legitimacy of the whole beautiful exercise. The President and his team, Minister of Health and his team have handled this thing with excellence and acuity, leadership acuity. And however, a lot of the legitimacy is eroded by the manner in which the police are handling those who are perceived to be violating the regulations. And I'm not saying people should violate the regulations, but I'm saying the response should be the way we expect peacekeeping forces in Africa to behave. Just because people are crossing the line, it doesn't give the peacekeeping forces the right to use force. They're there to keep peace. And the same thing applies. The army is there to keep peace, to keep law, to keep order. And we're there to reinforce the rule of law rather than to encourage anger. So the last thing is also that I forgot is the food passports. I think initially maybe it was necessary to issue the food passports. But part of my thesis around rethinking how we do things is in our disaster response, often the problem is not that there's no food. The problem is that people don't have cash. And I would think that it's easier to give people cash or vouchers than it is to send around food parcels. And food parcels actually, they are risks in terms of crime. Organized crime could be, putting together food parcels there that have nyayope, that have data, liquor, and all sorts of things. Whereas vouchers would prevent that. But certainly, vouchers and money boost local economies. Now, big trucks are moving from Gauteng to all of the other provinces. That is displacing the local traders in the townships and in the villages. What vouchers would make sure that you buy from the Gogo Minis and from the Joe Soaps that are owning tuck shops or other shops in the townships and in the villages.
Advocate, in closing, my final question, if you can just wrap it up in 1 minute, what would the role of a public protector be during this time?
The role of the public protector is to protect the public, is to monitor what's happening and in his or her own initiative, address government on some of the excesses that are taking place and also take complaints from the public. I must also indicate that civil society can also step up to protect the public as part of social accountability, and we are, as civil society, doing that. We have constituted ourselves into a forum that is going to be looking at what's happening in all of the municipal wards, 4,392 municipal wards. Is there corruption? Is everyone getting a food parcel? Is everyone being attended to? And is there use of force by the army and the police? And are there consequences for wrongdoing?